So it's creating a little bit of agency, creating some, for lack of any other term, agency or the control. And in the process, what's happening is there's a desensitization component that is inbuilt in this particular experience. Because who wants to go back over and fix something? We all have a tendency to move forward. So it is a way of desensitizing the body, desensitizing the listener, that these kinds of interruptions are going to happen, and I'm going to deal with them in a different kind of a way. So a successful cancellation, I want you to think, is not just about one thing. It's about many things, and it is attached to those 4 steps that we talked about. I think question from Vikas was, what are the 4 steps? So the 4 steps again are...
Wait a minute. I just messaged that question. I just wanted to get a very quick feedback from Vikas. Vikas, have you understood the 4 steps? Would you like to share your understanding of the 4 steps?
Means I'll share like what I have got.
Yes.
Say when we are going in the block, like where we know that we are having a block on any word, then we say that word with our stammered voice, and then we reflect back on that, and then we see, like during stammering, where was the tension, and then releasing it, and then saying that word again, and we might get stammer then as well, and then like then maybe we have to keep doing it.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. You got it, Vikas. Got it.
So the last point that you said, Vikas, is actually very important here, because we all understand the sequence quite well now, I think. But the last point is really important here. So what happens when you stammer again on the same word, right? The idea is, again, the expectation should not be that we're not going to stammer again on the same word. We might stammer again on the same word, but we'll do it again. Maybe a 3rd time, maybe a 4th time. And one of the phenomenons then in the stammering experience that is well noted is that there is a positive effect of motor rehearsal, which is to say that sometimes this happens, right? We all have had this experience multiple times in our lives. कि एक बार हमने कोई शब्द को बोला, उस पे हम हकलाए, उसके बाद फिर बोला, और उसके बाद हकला. Then when we repeat the word ourselves, there's a tendency to not stammer as much on it. Right? Now, that's very different than a listener asking us to repeat. The body responds very differently to that kind of time pressure, because if the listener is asking you to repeat, you feel even more of time pressure to say it quickly the next time. But when you do it volitionally, when you do it on your own, then the effect is very different in the body, because you're doing it out of willful behavior, and that willful behavior typically leads to more fluent speech next time around. There's a positive effect of what is called motor rehearsal. So it capitalizes. What Vikas is saying is very, very right, because on a next round, it may not be fluid, but next time it'll be more fluid. So we're giving the body multiple chances to experience the same stammering differently, with less tension, more ease, more forward movement. Okay, let's pause for a minute. Let's do about, sorry.
I just want to jump in and paraphrase this one idea, which Dr. Amit has just said. We may stammer again, 2nd time also, but at least we have taken the initiative, we have taken the agency and psychologically we feel better because we have acted as an agent, not as a victim. So that is one important thing which we should keep in mind, that even if you stammer second time, third time, it is still better to do a cancellation rather than hoping that the other person must have understood and carry on without bothering. Thank you. Back to Dr. Amit.
No, absolutely. Thank you for adding that. That's very essential, because all of the other points, the positives about cancellation stand, regardless of whether it's fluent next time around or not. So because cancellation means we are going to get more comfortable with our stammer, one stepping stone towards cancellation is voluntary stammering. So let's spend maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm going to time myself so I stay on track here. Let me get my phone. I'm going to spend about, it's half an hour into it. Let's spend about 10 minutes doing some, or maybe less time. Let's spend a little time doing some voluntary stammering. So I'm going to start. I'm going to lead, and I'm going to throw some very gentle, very gentle stammers in my speech, just like this, as I'm doing right now. A couple of little bounces here and there. Every second word, every second or third word, maybe one syllable word, maybe two syllable words. This is light voluntary stammering, where you feel more control. You're still stammering, but you're stammering in a more forward-moving way. You're stammering with less tension. So that's the demonstration of voluntary stammering. I'm going to keep this up for as long as I possibly can, for the next 7 minutes. But let's put you on the spot to do some voluntary stammering. And anybody wants to start, you can say anything. You can tell us a little about some highlights of your day, some highlights of the week, some good food you ate somewhere, whatever you want to talk about that is relatively emotionally neutral or emotionally positive. Let's try to sort of do it. What were you saying, Sachinji?
I went for a very good evening walk in the mountains, and it made my day. Thank you. Over to Pragati.
Where do you go? Where do you go? I mean, let's talk some more. How far did you walk, and what did you see?
There is a apple orchard behind the monastery where I'm staying, and so the track goes up, and so you are walking through the apple orchard, and then you climb further up, and then you come to a nice big rock where you can sit and just look down in the valley and enjoy the sunset. It was a very beautiful walk, and I spent something like 45 minutes, and I felt totally refreshed.
Nice, lovely. Okay, who wants to go next?
Pragati.
Yes, so yes, sir, yeah.
Yes.
So I will share what happened this week. So this week was very hectic for me, because we had 2-3 projects this week. So we had to make presentations. So I was working whole week, and I got 2 days off. That is Saturday and Sunday. So I thought that I have worked very hard this week, so I will enjoy this weekend. So I thought that I will go for a short trip this weekend. But then this morning I thought, oh shit, today's masterclass. So how can I miss that? so then I cancelled my trip, and then I went for, like, we have a very beautiful garden near my house. So me and my friends went there, and हमने वहाँ पे बहुत सारी बातें की कि कैसा चल रहा है लाइफ में, और क्या प्लान्स है, और फिर हम करने गए तो वहां पे, और फिर शाम को वापस आ गए, और फिर उसके बाद थोड़ी देर के बाद मैंने मास्टर क्लास ज्वाइन किया.
ठीक है, वेरी
Thank
गुड,
you.
साउंड्स लाइक अ पैक्ड डे. एक बात बताइए आपको, तो जब ही आपने बताया ये सब कुछ अबाउट व्हाट हैपेंड इन योर डे, तो आपकी जो अक्लाट थी, जो स्टैमरिंग थी, वो वॉलंटरी थी या रियल थी या समवेयर इन बिटवीन? what were you experiencing in your speech when you talked just now?
So the 90% it was voluntary stammering, and 10% was like real stammering.
10%
What
was
I felt.
real. ठीक है. So 90% तो 90% नकली थी और असल नस्ली थी.
हाँ,
Okay.
असली थी. हाँ हाँ.
Good. So the more we stammer, we try to stammer. This may sound like an odd statement. The more we try to stammer in control, the less we are likely to stammer out of control, if that makes any sense. So in your case, 90% of it was nakli, which is good. You're doing it under control. And the 10% was the asli part. So the more nakli stammering you do, the more in control you're going to actually feel. Okay, good, awesome. Let's go to Vikas. Vikas, do you want to try your hand at it? And I want you to go very, very mindfully that every second word, every third word, just draw some, throw some voluntary, stutters in your speech. Just a couple of little bounces, just like that. Try to do it a lighter kind of way.
Yeah. Okay. So today I attended a workshop from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and it was on I forgot the word in voluntary stammering. so it was on IDG IDG stands for, for inner development goal, and so IDG is really needed if there are sustainable the development goals, and so for IDG there are five skill sets that everyone needs to have. First is being, means relationship to self. Second is he thinking, means cognitive skills. Third one is relating. Relating means ca- caring for others and the world. Fourth is colla- colla- collaborating, means social skills. And last one is acting. Actings means doing a- 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 actions and enabling ch change.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. Let's so good. So we are all used to doing a little bit of a voluntary stammering now, which provides a nice transition to the kind of work that we're going to do from here on till the rest of when this class ends. Let's now carry this over into cancellations. So I'm going to work with each one of you for, let's say, 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time. So we'll do 2 or 3 minute rounds per person. And the format is going to look something like this. You're going to talk about a particular topic. And whenever you do a voluntary stammer, raise one finger. That way I'm aware that you're doing a voluntary stammer because of the finger you've raised. And if you're doing a real stammer, if it is a real stammer, or if a voluntary stammering turns real on you, which happens all the time, happens to me all the time as well, then raise the other finger. You understand? So if it's voluntary stammering, one hand. If it's the real stammering, the other hand. So I will watch you for what hand you raise. And if it's the other hand, like obviously if you're doing voluntary stammering just like that, I'm going to raise my finger every time I experience a particular, a break in my speech. But when that stammer turns real, right now I faked it. When the stammer turns real, if that's a real stammer, I'll raise the other finger. And then what we will do is on those particular words where there's a real stammer, we'll go back and do a cancellation. We'll follow the steps. All right. So expect that when you move your finger to the other hand, where you're signaling to me that it's a real stammer, I'm going to stop you after the stammer. First of all, go through the stammer, go through the word in any way you want, blocking, जो भी है. उसके बाद मैं हाथ दिखाऊंगा आपको, हाथ उठाऊंगा, हाथ दिखाऊंगा आपको. तो वहां पे रुकना है. And then the sequence will start. Rukna meaning stop, take a breath, take a pause, and then I will want you to talk through कि कहाँ पे tension थी आपको, यहाँ पे थी, throat में थी, गले में थी, मुंह में थी, किस जगह पे थी, मुंह में थी तो कहाँ पे थी, आगे थी या पीछे थी. थोड़ी awareness हम develop करेंगे इस process में, observe करेंगे अपनी stammering को, and you're going to tell me, you're going to tell yourself, and in the process, tell all of us where you experience the tension. And then I would want you to go back and do the same word, either through bouncing or prolongation. और अगर नेक्स्ट राउंड में अगर ठीक से निकला, अगर बाउंसिंग में आराम से निकला तो ठीक है, अगर बाउंसिंग में अगर आप फिर से अटक गए, then we'll go through the sequence again. Make sense? Okay. Let's start with Vikas. तो विकास और कुछ बताइए. We are so expect to be interrupted. First of all, expect that I will interrupt you. Expect also that when you stammer voluntarily, you're going to raise the finger of one hand. Just get used to it. Okay? And whenever that stammer turns real on you, raise the other hand.
Okay. Okay.
And then we'll follow the sequence.
Okay. So for voluntary stammering, I'll raise right hand.
Okay.
For real, I'll raise left hand.
Wonderful.
Okay. I'll put this so that my voice will be clear.
Hmm.
Okay. So we are running. So just want to ask one thing.
Ji.
Should I do more voluntary stammering, or should I be more real and adding lesser of voluntary stammering?
Do the former, do the first one, do more voluntary stammering, experience more control. And in the moments where it turns real on you, so you feel less control, we're going to shape those moments. The first
Okay.
one, not the second
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So we are running a startup named Ensured It, where we are providing insurance, where we are providing technology, technology.
Okay, stop. So the word was technology?
Yeah, I was getting stammer on knowledge.
Okay. Okay. Let's continue. I'm trying to get used to your speech pattern a little bit. So I'm going to do, so continue with what you were saying just now, share the rest of it. Okay. And also keep doing that. You're doing a very good job of noticing when voluntary stammering happens. Great job there. But whenever you feel, for example, in tech, when I see the other finger go up, the finger of the other hand, I'm going to let you stammer on that word, and then I'm going to raise my hand.
Okay. Okay. So we are for providing technology to.
Show me the fingers. Show me the fingers as you go along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Technology to insurance distributors, so that they can grow their sales, and these are insurance intermediaries.
The word was intermediaries. So
Yes.
Take a breath. We're going to work through it now. Where did you feel the tension in intermediaries?
I will repeat once. Maybe I didn't realize in first go.
Sure.
So they are I think when I see on E sound, E is not coming out. There's a tension here, and when E is not coming out, then lips are like, going like this, like this. So
Yeah.
I think so on this area, this part.
Yeah. So you're
That-
feeling the tension in your larynx. You're feeling the tension in your vocal folds. Your
Yeah.
vocal folds are jamming together before the sound even begins. Okay,
Yeah.
good. And then you're pushing, and the pushing is obvious in your lips. Obviously, you're pushing with your throat also, but the tension is most obvious to the listener in your lips because you're pressing your lips. Okay, good. Excellent. That's the reflection that we're talking about. Let's go back now and do that word again and do it with a bounce.
Okay. They are E intermediaries.
Okay, good. Continue. We'll work with one more moment.
Okay. They are E intermediaries.
Good. Let's go back and change that again.
Okay. They are E intermediaries.
Okay.
So there was-
Did you felt tension there again towards the second or the third syllable in that word?
Not more in the second and third syllable, because for second and third syllable I stopped for a while and then I said,
Yeah.
so I was getting stammering on the first syllable only.
The first syllable of the word. Okay. And
Yeah.
it's also a intermediaries 5-syllable word, heavy word. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So we will naturally experience more stammering on multi-syllabic words than on monosyllable words because there are more transitions to make, motoric transitions to make across syllables. This is a well-reported phenomenon that stammering frequency correlates very heavily with the multisyllabic nature of words because there is a connection between language formulation and speech motor movement. So that's what's happening. The more transition, the more syllables there are, the more transitions there are that we have to make motorically, mechanically. Awesome. Pragati, your turn. So you're going to do the same thing that Vikas did. With one hand, the voluntaries, essentially nakli, or with the other hand, the asli ones.
Okay. So for the left hand, I will do voluntary stammering, and right hand, I will do the real stammering.
Okay.
So, okay. I will talk uh, 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 about work from home or work from office.
Okay.
Which is better?
Okay.
So, in my o o o o o o opinion.
Okay, that was the real one?
Yes.
Okay, so stop right here. The word was opinion. So recreate that again. See if you can recreate, see if you can stammer in on that word in a real way to recreate what that tension felt like.
Opinion, like the first letter O.
Yeah, the first sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you feel it? Where did you feel it? Just show me here or here. Where did you feel it?
It is in my throat, like I have to give a lot of pressure to say that word.
You say that word. You have to use a lot of force. Yeah, you got to use a lot of
Yeah.
force in order to get through it. Okay, so good. Let's work through that word again. I want you to say that word again, and I'm going to create a Likert scale here, right? On my fancy whiteboard, I'm going to do a Likert scale.
Okay.
All right. Number 1 is light, which is another way of saying less tense. Number 7 is tight, tight, more tense. This is the most tension right now that you're able to experience. And you may never feel that you're at 7. But I want you to get used to a little bit calibrating the level of tension that you feel. Just calibrate it a little bit, right? So if you're getting stuck on a particular word, I will ask you what number it is. So when you say the word opinion again, maybe you'll stammer, maybe you won't, but whatever. And if you don't stammer on the word, we're going to move on. But next time you raise your finger for a real stammer, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to ask you where the tension is. I'm going to make you say it again. And then I'm going to rate. I'm going to ask you to kind of indicate, is it number 3? Is it number 4? Is it number 5? Non-verbally with your fingers, hold up your fingers to indicate what letter feel the tension at. So let's do the word opinion again. Okay, number 3,
Opinion.
number, how, number 3. Okay, let's do that word again. Let's get stuck again. Feel the tension on in opinion. But if you're still feeling it at 4, I want you to go up the scale. I want you to push it even more.
Okay.
Okay, let's start. Number 5. Good. Hold it, hold that tension, push it all the way to 6. Make that really tight. Good. Good. Okay, excellent. So you manipulated that tension yourself, right? You went from a 4 to a 5 to a 6. Let's hold that word again. Let's try it again. This time I'll make you go in the opposite direction. So try, yeah, go ahead. Number kya hai? 5. Hold it there, and just while you're holding it, lower the tension a little bit in your throat. Ease out of it. Down to a 4. Try it. Good. Do you feel the difference between the 4 and the 5?
Yes.
A little bit?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's hold it again at 4. Let's do that word again at 4. But this time I'm going to make you drop it all the way down to a 3. Try it again. Good. You're feeling less, and you're still there. You're still stammering, but it's less tense. Less tense. Make that, hold it there. Keep going. At 3. Do it at a 2. And then move on. Move to the next sound.
Opinion.
Okay, good. So right off the bat, you manipulated that tension in that stammer, right? And if I didn't tell you to hold the tension in that particular stammer, which is something I'm going to try now with Arjun, if I didn't tell you to hold it, you would have noticed that if you just stay in the moment without pushing, the tension just dissipates. It just goes away. Tension only lasts because we are holding it. So it's a very interesting experience for the body to realize that if I just stay in the stutter, if I just hold it and stay in the stutter, it is impossible to hold on to the tension. The purpose of the tension is you feel the blockage, you feel the tension, and you push through the tension. That's the body natural response to any break in the continuity of the movement. But doing opposite would be just to stay in it, feel that tension, and you'll notice it just goes away. So good. I'm going to move to Arjun now. We're going to try that sequence again. So why don't you say something about your life, actually, Arjun, and just share something. I'll go through the same sequence with you.
Sir, since I'm holding my phone in one hand, I'll use one finger for voluntary and
Sounds
two
good.
for actual stammers.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. This is something I am doing recently. Whenever I used to walk on the Bangalore streets, I would see lot of these Bangalore corporation workers sweep on the floor, and it would be very dusty. So I would close my mouth and run away. And just a few weeks back, thought came to me, how, sir, I had a block on how.
Cow. Okay.
How.
Let's work with that word.
Yeah.
Let's work and shape it a little bit. All right. So say that word again. Hit it really hard. You identified that as a word with a real stammer. Say the word again. And
How.
Number what?
4, sir. 3 or
Number
4, I
4.
would say. Yeah.
About 3 or 4. Okay. Hold that word again and increase it to a 5. Lower it to a 4. Lower it to a 4. Stay in it. Stay in it. Lower it to a 4. Lower it to a 4. See what 4 feels like. Good, good, good. Very good. That's exactly what I want you to do. Keep at it. Keep the tension to a 4. Feel what 4 feels like reliably. Reliably, what 4 feels like. Go up to a 5. Hit that. Make it more tense. Good. Can you tell the difference between a 5 and a 4? Yes? Okay, just nod your head. Good. Back to a 4. Back to a 4. Good. I like the fact that the sound is coming out. You're keeping the airflow going. Awesome, awesome. Back to a 5. Good, good. Back to a 4. Back to a 4. Now make it even easier to a 3. And then when I slide my finger down that Likert scale, I want you to continue the voicing and get out of it. Okay, good, good. You're holding on, you're trying to push it, but you're not feeling any tension naturally, are you? This is all creating, you're all creating that tension over there. Let's move on to a next word. Say whatever you were saying. Do the same thing again, 1 and 2. This time, when I want you to play with it, after we've done some experimentation with it between 4 and 5 and 5 and 4, when I slide my finger, I want you to keep the sound going and prolong the word to come out of it. For example, it will sound like this. Okay, so see what you were saying. 1 finger for voluntary, 2 finger for the real one.
Yeah. So with that thought process, I thought that these people also are sweeping without masks. So I decided to order masks through Amazon, and nowadays I am distributing this cloth masks wherever I see people sweeping the floor. Sir, can I use words where I normally block, like
Sure.
generally?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. today while I was doing ultrasound, I saw one case of uritic calculus with hydronephrosis. So there,
Okay.
those
Okay.
sounds. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that word again. Let's practice playing with it a little bit differently.
Hydronephrosis.
Okay.
Hydronephrosis.
Okay. Okay. So get stuck on the word at the beginning again. Now do a voluntary tight stammer.
Ah, 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 ah,
Whenever you're ready, come out of it.
ah, ah. Hydronephrosis.
Okay. So what you just did here inadvertently was a pull out, because you recognized the tension in real time. You were aware of it. You played with it internally. You made the tension go up and down, and then you eased out of it while saying that word. That's next step. That may be the next masterclass. Right now, cancellation means you just push through the word in any way you want, and then do your reflection, and then do the redo.
Okay.
So say that word again.
Hydronephrosis.
Okay. Now let's go back. Talk to me about where you felt that tension on that word.
Sir, it was in my throat, in my larynx. Basically, I could feel that there is no air flowing out, and even when it's flowing out, it is just the breath. There is no voice coming out.
There is no voice coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you interrupted the airflow preemptively by hyperacting your vocal folds. That's a laryngeal block, right? It's
Yes, sir.
hyperadduction of the vocal folds, which resembles what is called the valsalva movement over the sphincteric closure of the vocal folds versus a vocal fold posture that's typical for phonation. That's what a block really is, right? So basically what we are doing here is we are going to feel tension again in your throat on that word. We're going to hit that word one last time. We're going to feel tension over there. You're going to signal to me what number on this Likert scale you're at.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you stay there. And then I'm going to move one number up and one number down. So you'll get to experience what more tension feels like, volitional more tension feels like, what less tension feels like. And once I move down to the lower number, I'm going to then watch my finger. I'm going to go down this Likert scale towards the 1. And that's when you prolong and you get out of it.
Okay.
So say that word one more time. Number, indicate a number. 5. Good. Hold it to a 5. Hold it to a 5. Now drop it down to a 4. 4. Make that a little bit less. Stay in the stammer. Make it a little bit less. You're doing a fantastic job. Very good. Keep the airflow going. Keep the airflow going. Now I'm going to slide my finger down, and you're going to move into a prolongation.
Hydronephrosis.
There we go. So this time you went back and you did a pull out on that same particular uttered word. Great. Awesome. Let's move to Pragati next again. We'll do one more round. All right. We'll do one more round. Your turn again, Pragati. Let's you can either continue what you were talking about, or you can start something new, but I'm going to do the same arrangement here with you. I'm going to you can indicate 1 or 2, and then we'll work with ones which are the real ones.
Okay. So what I think is that work from home is better, because work from home provides very good work-life balance, because in metro cities like Mumbai, the Delhi, Bangalore, people have to travel from smaller cities, and they have to pay rent for accommodation.
Was that a real one? Okay, good. The accommodation. I was waiting for the real one. Okay, let's hit that real one again. Let's hit that real one again. Say the word accommodations again, and maybe you'll stammer on it, and maybe you won't. But try to volitionally stammer on it with more tension at the beginning, at the same spot where you got stuck. And I want you to hit it like between a 4 and a 5, whatever that means to you.
Accommodation.
Good. You're somewhere between a 4 and a 5, somewhere in there?
5.
Okay. 5. Good. Now hit that harder so you're at a 6. Stay in it.
Accommodation.
Feel it. Very good. Feel the tension. Can you feel the difference physically between a 6 and a 5? Okay, good. Now
Yes.
go back to a 5. Voluntarily stammer tightly on the word at 5. I'll hold it. And then as my finger moves to a 4, continue in that word, stay in that word. Keep making the sound but lower your tension level consciously. And then lower it again at a 3. And then when I hold it at 3 and then begin sliding my finger, you're going to move into a prolongation. Accommodation. Okay, let's hit that again. Number 5, hit that hard in number 5. Good. Number 4, a little bit lower, the tension level. You should be able to feel it. You're still feeling it here, but it's less. Now number 3, a little bit less. I'm going to keep my finger at 3, and I'm going to keep your sound. Absolutely beautiful. Keep going. Now as I'm sliding it out, move to a prolongation.
Accommodation.
Very good. You did it with the bounce. Awesome. So basically, this is what a cancellation is, basically, right? You're going back and changing the form of the stammer post-stammer. And the reason we are doing it, we've articulated it clearly over here, that it takes a lot of mindfulness to be able to do this in the stammer. Of course, before the stammer is a whole other story, because we are experiencing anticipatory anxiety, our body is getting revved up. That's a whole other experience to have. But the easiest way to start by manipulating the tension is through a cancellation. And why it's called a cancellation, I want to just end with a little bit of theory here around the word. The reason it is called a cancellation is because I can't speak about this without talking a little bit about learning theory and how this impacts. The point is, every time we push through a stutter, our body is getting reinforced for it. And it's getting reinforced because we are restoring continuity through force. So by using force, our bodies learn that we can restore forward movement. So what we are doing over here in a cancellation is, by going back and repeating the same word with less force, less struggle, less tension, consciously manipulated, volitionally manipulated less tension, we are teaching the body to cancel the reinforcement that it got from the previous time we pushed and replace it with the reinforcement from more ease. Is that principle relatively clear? Right? Because force is used to maintain continuity, we are teaching the body to maintain continuity through less force. And the easiest place to do this is in a post-stutter situation, because you don't have to be mindful of being in the stutter while in the stutter. You can continue the stuttering, you can move through the stuttering movement and go back and do it differently.
I wonder if Vikas will try to help us understand it in Hindi. Vikas, can you paraphrase this in Hindi? कि इसे कैंसलेशन क्यों बोलते हैं? कैंसलेशन को क्या कैंसिल कर रहे हैं हम
Yeah.
यहाँ पे?
या हाँ हाँ ठीक है, तो मैं ही हिंदी में बोलता हूँ
हाँ।
कि आ, हा हमारा दिमाग जो है वो ये सीख जाता है कि फोर्स से यानी कि बल से बोलना है और आगे बढ़ते रहना है, और उस बल से बोलने में यदि हमें स्टैमरिंग ज़्यादा भी है तो भी हमारा माइंड यही सीखता रहता है कि बल से बोलो और आगे बढ़ते रहो। तो हम इस बिहेवियर को माइंड ने जो सीख लिया है उसको का कैंसल कर रहे हैं कि हम उस हम दोबारा उस स्टैमरिंग वाले वर्ड को बोलें जिसमें हमने बहुत ज्यादा बल लगाया था। हम उसी सेम वर्ड को काफी का कम ब बल से बोलें ताकि माइंड उस चीज को दोबारा सीख ले।
That's an as perfect an explanation of of cancellation in Hindi as I've ever heard. That is beautiful. So तो अल जो लगा रहे हैं हम उसको कम लगाना है basically हमको. And the only thing I would change from what you said, Vikas, the only word I would change is the mind, because I personally like to locate it in the body. Because if it is in the mind, one has a tendency to feel that one can think about it differently and therefore do it differently. But if you look at stammering as a bodily phenomenon, as an embodied phenomenon, as a bodily phenomenon, then we are likely to want to let the body experience it differently. तो जब हम desensitization भी करते हैं मूव के करिकुलम से या फिर स्ट्रेंजर टॉक करते हैं, हम अपने शरीर को एक डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस दे रहे हैं हकलाहट से. It goes beyond the mind, because if you put it on the body, then you realize that you have to put the body through a whole lot of different experiences, and the mind is just one part of it. So, okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll this not only sets the clarifies what cancellation is, hopefully, but it's also sets the stage for the next masterclass, which we can do, which if you want to be part of, we can certainly do it, which is on the pullouts, because now we are making adjustments in a pullout while we are in the stutter itself, not after the stammer, which has its own wonderful place. But the pull-out part of it is where you can really see how you're shaping the stutter a little bit differently. And of course, it's challenging to do. So my recommendation to you is, in order to make this a more comfortable experience than it is right now, and get some practice with it, talk to a communication partner on a regular basis if you can. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, could be a colleague, could be anybody. But practice cancellations using the stop technique in very limited spurts. So if you have a date with a communication partner for 5 minutes when you're going to be practicing this stuff, maybe put yourself on a timer and say, I'm going to talk to you about something. It doesn't matter what I'm going to say. I'm going to just practice my techniques in a different kind of a way. And I'm going to voluntarily stammer on one word, on a word, or if I don't voluntarily stammer, it's a natural one. You will see me do the following. talk to them about what you're going to be doing, because the more social you are with this, even this training, the better and more comfortable and more desensitized you're going to feel. So if you tell the listener, and not only that, it's going to affect the interaction also in a good way, because the person is going to know, is going to expect things a little bit differently from you. So go ahead and talk to a communication partner on a daily basis if you can, for 3 minutes, 4 minutes a day. Practice this, because I think it's going to get, you're going to feel more comfortable with it. And certainly this, all of that you can leverage to a greater extent when we bring this into the next masterclass, which is going to be on pullouts. So anybody has any questions or anything, any comments, or before we wrap up?
Yes, I want to ask something.
G.
So when we use the cancellation, like, so what happens is that when we say a word, we stuck between the word. Like if I'm saying accommodation, then I am using the cancellation technique, right? Accommodation, but when I am using the technique, but still I am stucking in some word like in ma. So then what we have to do? Like we have to then you use the technique again.
So excellent question, Agati. My response to your question is I have two answers. One is, you're asking about what happens in a real life situation. We're not in real life yet. So in a training situation, what happens? In a training situation, when you're talking to a communication partner, for example, it might be a good idea to pre-select some vocabulary on which you're going to be doing cancellations. So let's say you're talking to a communication partner, a friend of yours, and saying the same story that you said to us during this particular masterclass about what happened during your day. Let's say it doesn't really matter what you're saying as long as it's emotionally neutral. So if you're saying something emotionally neutral to a friend for practice in these cancellations, pre-select 4 or 5 words, or less than that, 2 to 3 words if it's a short conversation, on which you're going to voluntarily stammer, or if you experience stammering on those particular words, keep it very targeted to those particular words, and then do cancellations only on those words. Hold yourself responsible for doing the practice on that anchor vocabulary, on that basic vocabulary that you've chosen as the target vocabulary for this new behavior that you're going to practice. That way, you won't feel like, do I do it on this word also? Do I do it on a second word also? This is for practice. More focused practice that you can actually do with it, better you're going to be. Does that help clarify a little bit?
Got it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So choose 3 or 4 and either do cancellations of those words when you stammer steadily on those words, or spontaneously on those particular words, and put a little forethought into what those words are going to be. I typically recommend, when I work with people, that choose some proportion of easier words to say. We all know words are easier. We all know what sounds a little bit easier. We all know what words are a little bit easier. We also know very well what words are difficult for us. So choose your anchor vocabulary using a greater proportion of comfortable words and less proportion of the uncomfortable words, because then you feel more empowered to do cancellations on words that you don't typically stammer on. It's going to be better. It's just going to feel you're just going to feel more in control if you choose that particular, maybe 3 to 4, sort of a proportion of those words. Any other questions?
So before we end, I think, why don't we have a cancellation on just one word in a given line? May I give the line to our 3 friends?
Sure.
कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा. कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा. अहमदाबाद पे आपको कैंसिलेशन करके दिखाना है. बढ़िया सा, सुंदर सा कैंसिलेशन, असली वाला.
सुंदर सी cancellation. हाँ.
असली वाला कैंसलेशन करके दिखाना है। कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा, इसके ऊपर स्टार्टिंग विद विकास।
कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा। कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा।
Right. So Vikas, you repeated the entire sentence, which is fine right now. But typically, if you were to do a cancellation on that word again, you'd say kal main Ahmedabad Ahmedabad jaunga. Because you would repeat just that particular word to let your body experience more forward speech on that particular word. This is fine. What you did is fine. There are many ways of doing cancellation, but to maintain the fidelity of the technique, that's what it's designed to achieve. Okay, let's go to Arjun next.
कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा। अहमदाबाद जाऊंगा।
Very good. Awesome.
अहमदाबाद।
Awesome. Nicely done. Agati, your turn.
Yes, sir. कल मैं अहमदाबाद जाऊंगी।
There we go. Awesome. Nicely done, guys. Wonderful.
Everyone has done a great job.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Lovely.
Everyone, thank you so much. Dr. Amit, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. My pleasure entirely.